I'm Luke Jones, welcome to my channel The Other Way. Today we're in Yaroslavl, capital of the Golden Ring, for a trip down memory lane. More of that in a minute, but first off, it's the Kremlin. Now, getting into the Kremlin turned out to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. There's a booth with a very nice lady in it who you would assume sells tickets to get into the Kremlin, but that would be far too easy. She just checks the tickets that you buy somewhere else. There's a great Russian expression, "Ничего не было создано, чтобы тебе было удобно," meaning nothing was created to be easy for you. You have to go to a completely different place to buy the tickets. So, follow me. Success at the first time of asking. Got far too many little bits of paper, but hopefully these will let us into the Kremlin. Russia has loads of Kremlins. They're dotted all over the western part of the country. They're essentially large castles. Now, for some reason, in Yaroslavl, this particular Kremlin is not actually listed as a Kremlin. It's called a monastery. Now, to me, it looks pretty much like a lot of the others there. So let's go and have a better look and see, really, why is it not a Kremlin? One of the best things about visiting Kremlins is the fact that you can climb all over the place. Look up above me, this is how they protected them. They stuck cannons or bows and arrows in them, make sure that nobody got close. Now, in the winter, they don't want people slipping all over the place, so unfortunately, we can't go any higher. Good look around the Kremlin, and there's nothing here that makes it hugely different from any of the other ones I've visited, and I must have been to over a dozen of them. Some of them are in varying states of repair. This is actually one of the better ones, been beautifully restored. So I've no idea, nobody seems to be able to tell me why this one isn't officially a Kremlin, but it's good enough for me. Anyway, that's that ticked off. Let's go and see what the rest of Yaroslavl has to offer. Now let's go and check out one of the most photographed places in Yaroslavl. Now, no trip to Yaroslavl would be complete without a walk along the embankment, the mighty Volga, which flows just west of here through Nizhny Novgorod, Kazan, and then down through Samara all the way down into the sea. So at the moment you can see it's frozen over, not quite strong enough to walk on. I'm not going to test it, but in the summer it's beautiful for boat trips here. Take my word for it. We're standing on the platform of the river station. This is in the summer when the ice melts. You can take a nice boat trip along the Volga, but it's a great place to tell you about. When you get a 1,000 ruble note, you've got a statue of Yaroslav the Wise on it, and on the back, you've got a couple of churches. So Yaroslavl gets everywhere. But even more importantly, you've got the coat of arms of Yaroslavl. You've got a bear with an axe in his hand. We're standing in the middle of Soviet Square with the Parliament building behind. You can still see the hammer and sickles there if you look closely enough. Not sure what they do in there all day, but I'm sure it's very useful. Now, Yaroslavl is over 1,000 years old. It was founded in 1010 by Yaroslav the Wise, and this is obviously one of the newer buildings from communist times, but there's a lot of older stuff. Come and check this one. walking around today, so maybe it's not quite the weather for it, but let's have a little sit down. And here you go with our bear, with the axe. Yaroslavl for me means more than just the capital of the Golden Ring. This is where I came to study Russian in 1994. Now, if you can see behind me, there's a statue of Lenin with his arm up. Now, every town in Russia's got a statue of Lenin. You're thinking, so what? Well, if you go just to his right, you'll see the place where we went every day to learn Russian grammar. Let's go and see if it's still there. Now, I remember behind Lenin, Улица Некрасова was the name of the road. Not much more than that. Can't remember the number, but let's go and see. Well, I've located the Yartek on Ulica Nekrasova, and perhaps unsurprisingly it's not here anymore, but I didn't expect it to have been turned into a housing complex. Well, maybe that's progress, maybe not. But anyway, we had really fond memories of studying here in the spring and summer of 1994. So on that note, let's go and celebrate. Yaroslavl has changed beyond recognition in the 28 years that have passed since I was last here. There were no pubs like this when I was a student. So anyway, that's something to say cheers to. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and make Yaroslavl your next weekend away.